This video will present the spinal cord. The spinal cord is the second part of the central nervous system. Remember, the central nervous system is the brain and the spinal cord. So you probably just watched the video on the brain. This is the video with on the spinal cord. And the spinal cord is continuous with the brain, going inferior in the body from the brain, and also ascending to the brain. Okay, so let's take a look at this. There's ascending and descending fibers inside the spinal cord. This is the vertebral column. You can see these are big, thick vertebrae, so they're lumbar vertebrae. These are the disc in between the vertebrae, and then these are, if we look at that, going through the central canal of the vertebrae right there, that's the spinal cord. We're going to look at a big cross section of that in just a minute. And also you can see coming out from the spinal cord are the peripheral nerves, and the peripheral nerves come through those intervertebral foramen, and they are part of the peripheral nervous system. So now let me go get the model of the cross section of the spinal cord. This is a cross section of the spinal cord, and what you can see, let's take a look out here at the side first, and what you can see is this is the dorsal, this is the ventral, and that's cross section cut through the spinal cord. This is the dorsal root, it's a nerve coming in, and this is the ventral root, it's a nerve going out. Okay, so what there are sensory neurons in the dorsal root, and there's motor neurons in the ventral root. Okay. Now, what you see in the dorsal root right before it goes into the spinal cord is the dorsal root ganglion. The dorsal root ganglion. And what that is, that's a collection of nerve cell bodies outside of the central nervous system. Okay. Okay, so let's go into the spinal cord. We see the dorsal root, that's taking an impulse to the spinal cord. Here's the dorsal root, and then it comes down through this gray matter. Remember, in the spinal cord, the white matter, this is all white matter, is around the gray matter. In the gray matter are the interneurons, or the association neurons, and then they relay the impulse out the ventral motor root, which comes out here. So you have a dorsal sensory root and a ventral motor root, and in between the two you have association or interneurons. White matter is surrounding gray matter. Okay. If you see the bottom of the spinal cord, you have an anterior median fissure, down there. Okay. And then you have a superior median sulcus. It doesn't show up real good on this model, but that's right where it would be. Okay. This is called the ventral horn. This is called the dorsal horn. This is called the lateral horn. That's all of the gray matter, which is made up of association neurons. Then in the white matter, what we have in the white matter is ascending tracts and descending tracts. Ascending tracts are taking sensory impulses up higher to the brain, and descending are bringing impulses down from the brain. And the white matter is connected to the white matter on the left and right sides. Right down there and that's called the white commissure, okay, and the gray matter on each side is connected right here, and that's called the gray commissure, and the middle right there is the central canal. That's the central canal. Okay, so let's review this. Okay, this is a cross section of the spinal cord. The dorsal root is carrying sensory impulses in. The ventral root is carrying motor impulses out, carrying sensory to the spinal cord, and the ventral root is carrying motor from the spinal cord. This is the dorsal root ganglion. It is a collection of nerve cell bodies outside of the central nervous system. Okay. This gray matter is association or interneurons, and they connect the afferent or sensory impulses to the efferent or motor impulses. So see, it goes around like that. We're talking in the lessons about reflexes. They go right through the spinal cord and right back out. The white matter in the spinal cord surrounds the gray matter. The white matter on the right side and the left side are connected through the white commissure. This is the gray commissure with the central canal. There's an anterior median fissure down here, and then there is a superior median sulcus up here. Okay, this is called the ventral horn. This is called the dorsal horn, and in between there's a lateral horn. In the white matter, there are ascending tracts that carry impulses to the brain, and descending impulses that carry the impulses from the brain back to the spinal cord. So I hope this video helps you to understand the spinal cord a little bit better.